What? Were you expecting health? He's on a break. I guess I'll start us off.
By American and Canadian copyright laws, any video clip shown within the podcast, be it with or without sound, is under fair use and fair dealing for purpose of our reactions. Also, prepare for salt mines to explode from all involved. Don't take what we say seriously, unless you are the El Cansador known as Antonio Brown.
I'm Tom Grassi, and you're watching The Sports Disaster.
Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast. I'm calling both games.
Don't take anything that we're about to say seriously. Unless you're the El Cansador known as Antonio Brown.
Who the hell do you think you're talking to? I'm Antone. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, the Nuggets don't have nobodies anyway, bro. Bro, I literally can try out for the Nuggets as a walk-on right now and become a starter by tomorrow, bro. That's how bad the team is, and that's how bad they need me.
You know you're damn wrong, and shut your damn mouth.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I love that part.
Yay! If it wasn't for StreamYard crashing, I probably wouldn't enjoy the intro. But welcome to the Sports Disaster. I'm going to be your host for this week. My name is Red Rubber Duckwind. Over to my right is Kirby.
I would have something snarky to say, but I am not. My brain's in somewhat a vacation mode, so I've got a few days off. I've got I'm gonna work out some more goal horns. I'm thinking of using the Canadians one for the Canada games if we ever do that. If you ever use for Canada soccer team at the Canadians. I already made one for the US.
Yeah. All right, and down below me is Alan Nadeau III.
Yeah.
And over there on the corner is Danny Kukler.
He is here.
He will be in my SMB teams next year.
Yes.
Yep.
I can make a joke, but I'm not going to because we don't need an Amore this past.
Yeah. Yeah, but guess what?
Also, Mother Nature's being a bit of a bitch outside with a thunderstorm, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, plus we're back on the
moment, but there's been some thunder and some lightning, so it is what it is. But,
yeah, plus guess what? The last 3 streams, I think 3 streams for the watch parties, I think we were on my account. So that's why we didn't have any Amores, even though we were pretty damn close. But
we were close.
Now we're back on the TSD account. So guess what? The Amore video is polished. It's ready to go in case we have some Amores. So
I
we
don't
got
think
a
we're
lot of
being
stuff.
very jesters here.
Oh joy!
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So of course we had some hires going on in some of the leagues. We had a reverse boycott in Oakland, if that makes any sense. And we have a popular sports figure coming to America. But first, let's go over some champions. Let's start off with the NBA's Denver Nuggets. They beat the Miami Heat 4-1, including a 94-89 win in Game 5 of the 2023 NBA Finals. I want your guys' thoughts on that. Cooch,
I
what do
watched
you
the end of
think?
that
What was your
game.
big takeaway?
I watched the end of it. Holy shit, Jimmy Butler fucking sold all game long, and I'm not even a Heat fan. If I was a Heat fan, I'd be pissed as hell. Because what the hell is Jimmy doing out there? He barely showed up. And on it, when you're the leader of a team, in which a lot of these guys are undrafted free agents, you have the buyout of I'm thinking Kevin Love and Kyle Lowry at the same time. Sorry. You have the buyout of Kevin Love from Cleveland. And all this other shit. Like, Jimmy is the leader. He's the cog in the machine. Now, to be fair, Denver could have blew that. Miami kept it. They kept it close.
They did keep it close.
They just failed. If Jimmy had shown up, this series would have advanced to a Game 6.
We will be doing a Game 6 watch party tomorrow, but instead, Denver with the championship. Kirby,
Pops
you're
the
going
champagne
next.
bottles. Denver just dominated the whole series. What more do you want me to say?
I wouldn't say they dominated the whole way. They dominated Game 1 and then fell asleep in Game 2. And the thing, and people were saying the thing with Miami has been this entire playoffs. If you give them a chance, they'll make them pay for your mistakes. It's kind of like how when we'll get to them in a minute, like with the Panthers and the way that they've been playing this entire playoffs is they've had to face adversity. They face adversity to even get here, to get to those playoffs. Then they face adversity of being down 3-1 in the first round. And then they've proceeded to kick everybody's asses and then just got steamrolled. But so in Miami's case, you had the adversity of, you won your division, but you had to be in the play-in. You lose the 7-8 matchup, so then you have to play to get the 8th seed. You get the 8th seed. You go up against a perennial contender in the Bucks, and then you beat them. And then you played the Knicks, which was a sort of a gimme. You beat them. Mind you, again, this is a team who's led by Jimmy Butler and has a bunch of cast-offs and whatnot, and yet, well, unless your name is Bam Adebayo or Tyler Hero, but he'd gotten hurt.
Yeah.
And then you embarrassed us in Game 7, Boston, after we pulled off one of the greatest last-second plays of all time in Game 6, which honestly it should have ended there, considering how Game 7 went. And then, you get to Denver, you made it 1-1, but then after that, I'm not saying they ran out of gas the same way the Panthers did, because the Panthers just fucking ran out of gas and got lucky to win Game 4 the way we got lucky, Toronto, got lucky to win Game 4 against them back in round 2. But in the end, I don't know what more could have been done by the Heat. But I think now you look at it as they came up just short against the Lakers in the bubble season. You came up just short against the Nuggets. I think if you get somebody with you to pair with Butler and Adebayo, whether it's Damian Lillard or now could be Bradley Beal, considering what's coming out of Washington right now with him and the team and his agent potentially looking at moving Beal if that's the direction that the Wizards want to go. If you can get him or Lillard, I think, and you put Miami back in this spot, maybe next year they win. But here's the thing. The West is going to continue to be tough as nails. Denver could become a dynasty, although there's a couple of teams we've said that about, and yet we've had 5 different champions the last 5 years, and we've had a bunch of different champions under Adam Silver. Like somebody compared that to the way to David Stern's time as commissioner, and the parity is nice in that regard, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But again, kind of like with the Panthers, I don't think Miami has a lot to hang their heads on because they weren't supposed to be here, and yet they got here. They got a game.
Neither Miami team was supposed to be there.
Yeah, but I'm glad in the end. I'm glad that Denver won because the biggest thing, and this has been a thing all playoffs long, is all the fucking narratives, and people are going to continue to push narratives about this Nuggets team based on the. If you're hearing an echo, it might be because of the fact that I have fans going in the background. Leave me alone.
Don't worry, I do too. Because Florida's hot as hell. We've had no rain in like a week.
Rip. But the thing with the Nuggets is that people are trying to discredit the Nuggets championship run because of the teams that they played and the seeding and all this other shit. Shut the fuck up, please. The Nuggets did what they had to do to get here. They faced the path that was put in front of them, and they won. They brought the Nuggets their first championship in their existence after almost 50 years. Jokic, wouldn't it have been better if he had won MVP over Embiid? Fine, but I think the NBA was like, fine, Embiid, here, have your MVP. And Jokic is like, cool, I'm just going to go win the freaking finals. But Denver truly deserved this. You look at the last few years, and people, I think a lot of people have been saying, if the Nuggets could get healthy, then this is where they would be. MPJ has had to deal with back issues since he was in college, and it caused him to slide to Denver in his draft year. Jamal Murray was coming off a torn ACL, I believe. Honestly, the trade to get Aaron Gordon, a year or two ago, is in a way underrated because he was a big part of this.
And it was godsend for them because Aaron Gordon was an impactful player in the finals.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yes, he was.
And, so either way, Denver deserved to win this.
Yeah, Denver was clearly the better team.
Yeah, Denver was.
Yeah, they were clearly a better team. They were built to win that championship, and that was sort of what was stark to me. Was they were built to win that championship from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
They developed players.
Yep.
They didn't go to recruit superstars. The superstars. They didn't recruit superstars. The superstars were developed by them, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, and they happened to have this great team. And it shows NBA teams that you can develop teams and you can still win with a star, yet develop stars, because the NBA is going to run into a star problem pretty soon. And we all know it. We all know it. And LeBron's getting older. And he's going to retire. He's going to set off into the sunset. Maybe a year too early. Maybe Bronny won't. Maybe when Bronny comes out, he won't be playing. And it just sort of suits the narrative that a lot of these leagues have star problems. A lot of these leagues sort of benefited having longtime stars on, whether it's LeBron James, Tom Brady, i.e., et cetera, and that marketed themselves very well. They didn't have the marketing power of the leagues very well. They did have marketing power of the league, but they marketed themselves very well, like Brady and LeBron. So,
well, I mean, the leagues themselves need to market their players better. That's a given. Because again, like you said, Brady's gone. Some of these top players in the NBA and the NFL are going to be gone. But like the NFL, everybody, like players emerge every single year. So I don't necessarily think you have as much of an issue there because the fan bases are so freaking loyal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
30 and 30 tour, you can tell the fan bases are fucking loyal as hell. So they're going to show one way or the other. But really what it comes down to is the other three leagues. Like Major League Baseball has a shitload of problems that they got to figure out. We know this. And like there are ways that they're able to market their star players, especially because they come from so many different ethnic backgrounds. So there's that. But the NHL is a big one, and and I think part of it just comes down to the commissioner and not knowing what the fuck to do. And the NBA is you got to stop. Like, you have to put more emphasis on the smaller markets. That's always been a problem, especially in the media. And that's another thing with Denver winning this title is because Mike Malone, and maybe it got a little annoying, but he had a point. When they swept the Lakers, everybody wanted to talk about LeBron and whether or not he was going to, in his comments about potentially looking at retirement.
Right.
When the focus should have been on the Nuggets.
Exactly.
These last 2021.
Meanwhile, Dina is
with the Bucks and the Suns. Everybody was laughing about the fact that ESPN. Oh, you're not going to Boston. You're not going to Miami. You're not going to LA. You have to go to freaking Milwaukee.
Dina's trying to set up shop.
Hey, I still would like Mario. I'm getting things ready.
He's ready. Oh, boy. I can hear him.
Yeah, just a little loud. Just a little set up the crowd. Not yet. Keep going.
Okay, so.
All right.
Anyway, as I was saying.
Can I say something now?
Yes, go.
So, I predicted the Nuggets in 5. Not to give myself an ass pat or anything, but I said gentleman sweep, which is onomatopoeia essentially for Nuggets in 5. So one thing that I established very quickly is that how are they going to deal with Denver's size? That was the one thing that they never really overcame. The Nuggets were just too big. Yeah. They kept getting out rebounded.
Jokic is like 6'11".
He's 7'1". They don't really have anyone that big. Their biggest player, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember how tall Kevin Love is, but their biggest player.
He's only 6'11".
So he's their tallest player, and he's 34. He's going to be turning 35 this year. But Love's listed height is 6'8". And the listed height of their tallest player, Bam Adebayo, is 6'9". So they don't really have any. They don't have a big size. They have Nikola Jovic, the other Nikola in this series, who is 6'10". That's really it. They don't have. Not to mention, Max Struss and frickin' Gabe Vincent, good chunk of the time, are playing like they belong on the Guangdong Tigers. Insert obvious GIF joke here. Anyway, it just feels like that they weren't. I don't think Tyler Hero would have made much an impact, maybe on the offensive end, but his defensive rating is actually worse than Duncan Robinson. So then that's where. Not to mention, I do have to talk about the officiating because, oh boy, that game 5 was rough. The phantom foul on the 3. Phantom foul on the 3. I thought that I honestly don't know if the league knows what the hell charging is.
Honestly,
they don't. They forgot about it.
They don't know what the difference between an offensive and the defensive foul was.
There was one where Kevin Love was still moving his feet and his core wasn't set, and they gave it to him. Whereas I thought Lowry did the same thing better and didn't get that call. So
there was that stupid call on Aaron Gordon, even though Jimmy Butler basically kicked him in the balls.
Yeah, and there were a couple times where the Nuggets got all ball and got called against. Yeah. Plus, again, back to the charging thing. I think it was like near the end of the first quarter. Jokic did everything right, and they called him for the foul. It's like the NFL not knowing what the hell pass interference is, or the NHL not knowing what goaltender interference is.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying the NBA was rigging per se, because that's one of the common things that people like fans like or whatever like to say. But how much but in a way, I wonder if the NBA wanted to try to push the series further, but then Jimmy Butler just did not show up, and that was what they needed. Because if Jimmy Butler shows up and at least gives you fucking, like, I don't know what he had last night scoring-wise, but if he actually fucking shows up and gives you like maybe 15 or 20, then
21.
a good 10 to 20,
then
Miami wins and we're going to game 6.
But also, this game probably would have been.
And do you want to know the sad part? Want to know the sad part about that though? He was still the leading scorer for the Heat that night. Because Bam Adebayo had 20.
The Nuggets also went 13 from 23 for the line. So
exactly, yeah. The Nuggets, they were having issues shooting from the 3-point line. It was Miami's game to win, and they just did not take it because Butler did not show up. And I can definitely see the argument of the NBA wanting to push the series further, especially because Miami's a bigger market than Denver is. I get it. And that's a whole other discussion. It's like, yeah, bigger market, smaller market, whatever. At this point, why should the market size matter anymore? If the team is good, that's all that matters. If the team is great, that's all that matters.
Yep.
Like, yes, last year we had Golden State, who has this whole dynasty.
Gotta get video streams.
There he is.
Look at them. They loving you. I told you I'd get him.
Dina coming in clutch.
Yep. Say hi to the sponsors. That's the live glossy rage.
All right, I gotta get going, guys. It was fun to at least talk about that with you. Nice win, whatever. Florida. One thing I will say is that Florida had nothing left in the tank. They were on E. That car was.
And that's all I gotta say, boys. I'll be back later.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so before I go, I guess we can go to the Knights. Because I'm gonna get going.
I haven't
Florida
said anything about the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I haven't said anything about the NBA yet.
I was going to take on off. Anyway, so basically, Knights win. My thoughts on the Panthers, they just ran out of gas. They just had, they are broke. Did you see the injury list that Ekblad was playing through? He had a broken foot since the Boston series.
Yeah, there were some other ones too. Once Kachuk was announced that he wasn't playing, I knew damn well Florida was fucked. Like, they were going to be fucked. Like, even if he did play, how badly do you lose then? Maybe 5-3, 6-3 instead of fucking 9-3?
I think
like,
Duclair
holy
missed.
Shit.
I don't think Duclair played either.
No, Kachuk was the only one that I saw that was announced to not play.
Yeah, and Gudis has been playing on a bad injury for a while. Ankle sprains are a bitch.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
Especially in hockey.
All right, I'm going to get going. It was nice chatting with you.
Thank you, Kirby.
All right, see ya. Yeah,
we got a Grassy raid.
We'll touch upon. Yeah, props to Dina for doing that. Yeah, and we'll touch upon hockey in a few moments. But I still want to get
back to the NBA thoughts. Like back to the NBA.
I want to get my NBA thoughts out of the way.
Yeah.
The thing is, Denver, while they might not look like it on the score sheet, they were the far better team because they could have easily swept. They could have easily swept the Heat if the Heat hadn't turned it on in Game 2.
Well, that's what I said. Denver fell asleep.
Yeah, Denver fell asleep, and they kind of fell asleep in Game 5. But of course, Heat was playing out of their minds to try to keep their season alive. But then the Heat, they just went stone cold. Like, you can't expect to win a game by scoring only 18 points in the fourth quarter. That's all they had. And
you
plus,
can't expect the guys who aren't made. No offense, but you can't expect the undrafteds, Kevin Love being cast off from Cleveland, old ass Kyle Lowry. You cannot expect all of these guys to be the guys to lead the team when Butler's supposed to be that guy. And hell, even if you played Tyler Hero, even if he came back in game 5, how much would that have mattered? Considering it's a hand injury that he's coming off of. So
it's sad. And one huge thing that I like to talk about on Sports Power Talk on WZIP is rebounding. Would you like to hear the stats on the rebounds here? Denver out rebounded the Heat 71-50. 71 rebounds compared to 50. And we all know the reason why, because of the height difference between Denver and Miami. Of course, you got Nikola Jokic. And then, of course, you got Michael Porter Jr. He's gotten a lot of rebounds as well. Who else has all the rebounds? And especially Jamal Murray. He's been getting rebounds as well.
Gordon was getting rebounds too because Gordon's pretty tall.
Yep, Aaron Gordon was getting rebounds. Miami just couldn't defend the ball for the life of themselves, especially in the second half when Denver turned it on. You just can't do what the Heat did in the second half and expect to win. You just can't.
No, you can't crap out and expect to win. And going back to the point about the future of sports there for a second, the RSNs and like the future of streaming, the leagues need to get that figured out. And media rights,
yeah, they do.
They need to get that figured out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like distribution
ASAP.
As soon as possible for localities to watch these teams so fans can access their teams.
Yeah.
Because this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, well, some of the teams are getting involved. I know Phoenix is. There's probably a couple of other ones. Although I think with the Phoenix thing is there's some pushback from a network, RSN, or whatever the hell. I mean, the double-edged sword with streaming is the fact of that's where that's where everything's going because people are cutting cables so much. But it's a double-edged sword because you have to pay out your ass because there's so many different streaming platforms that you're going to have to pay out your ass for. Half the time shit doesn't work because technology's a bitch. And older folks are not going to be able to get into that unless the younger folks are helping them out. So it's going to be interesting to see where all of that goes.
This Sunday ticket experiment is going to be crucial in the streaming experiment.
Yeah.
Because if it fails, it's going to fail hard and fast.
Yep.
Yeah, especially with the way they're hyping about it. Over $300.
And the way YouTube TV failed during the NBA Finals, that's not giving concern for NFL customers during Sunday ticket season because
they've been failing during the entire NBA playoffs. They not only failed them, but they failed a couple times in the NHL playoffs.
Yep.
Because right now YouTube TV has shown
on with Thursday Night Football as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's technology is not perfect, and I get that. Do I think everything is moving to streaming way too fast? Probably. But unfortunately, that's the way of the future, and it is what it is. You know, again, Denver winning and having another small market team win is awesome, or even just getting here is good. I mean, you know, it's nice to see a little bit of parity, you know, in that regard, and I'm hoping for more of that. Again, with the West being as tough as it is, it's going to be hard for Denver to repeat, but I think they can do it. But look at some of these other teams. Like Golden State is looking at moving some of these younger guys that they've got. Yeah, I know, Danny. I've seen. Golden State's looking to potentially move some of these younger guys who haven't developed. No shit, they weren't going to develop because Golden State's a win now team. They had one bad year where Curry was hurt and Clay was out, and you didn't have KD. So, like, of course you were going to be bad. So it's why I feel bad for James Wiseman, and I hope he turns out well in Detroit. and whatnot.
Yep.
Kuminga, I saw something earlier that they might try to move him or something. It sucks in a way because these younger guys got put in a situation in Golden State where how the fuck are they supposed to do anything when it's a win now team that had a little blip in their dynasty because of guys being hurt or leaving? I feel bad for them in that regard. You have the John Morant situation in Memphis. You have the Zion situation in freaking New Orleans. Zion might
There's a lot of no-win situations in a lot of markets right now.
There is.
Right.
It was just like I'm just glad that we actually we saw parity, but in a way because and whatnot.
It gives hope for
Sacramento. Sacramento fucking came out of nowhere this year.
That was refreshing.
Has work to do because you got to figure out. I honestly think like CP3, we got to see how that situation pans out. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ayton, even though he got his new deal last year, I wouldn't be surprised if Ayton gets moved because now you need to rebuild the depth around KD and Booker. Clippers, at some point, that's going to fall apart with Kawhi and PG because that has not worked out. Minnesota's going to have to move on from Gobert and maybe even Cat as well and just take whatever assets they can get and build the team around Anthony Edwards. New Orleans, if you're able to get something back for Zion, you have guys on that roster to where you can make something out of it. Lakers, they just need guys to be healthy, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do this offseason.
Sixers.
Dallas needs to figure out what they're going to do about Kyrie, and they got to figure out what they're going to do about Luka.
Sixers with Harden. And
Portland might finally actually go into a rebuild once Lillard's gone. The West, it's like there are some teams where where they're at, and then the rest of the West is just figuring itself out.
Oh, you're talking about the West. I'm sorry.
And then as for the East, Milwaukee, I think you have to look at moving on from Drew Holiday.
Yep.
Maybe even
absolutely.
This might be a hot take, but also maybe possibly moving on from Chris Middleton and trying to get some younger guys around Giannis.
Yeah.
Boston, with the Bradley Beal news that just came out today, I'm already seeing shit that Boston is not going to look into getting Bradley Beal and wants to try to get Jaylen Brown signed with an extension. I'm sorry. You might have to split Tatum and Brown. I'm fucking serious. Because
unfortunate.
It's like, I know we were in the finals last year. We were in the conference finals this year. But you need a fucking identity over there. And like Lillard laughing off Boston in an interview, some of the other stuff that could be said, some of the other stuff, whatever that I've been hearing, it's like, it makes you wonder.
It's regression.
It makes you wonder. It's like Boston should be a team that big name players want to come to. And I'm worried that that's not the case right now. And maybe it's because of the culture. Maybe it's because, or lack thereof. Maybe it's because of the guys that are there. Maybe it's because you have Brad Stevens in the front office. Maybe it's because of the coaching thing. I don't fucking know. I don't know where this Boston team goes after this year. Philly, you're almost definitely losing Harden, I think.
Yeah, we're losing Harden.
You got to figure out who. Maybe you're the ones that go get Bradley Beal. Cleveland,
maybe we're the ones that get Lillard. Who knows?
Possibly. Cleveland, they're just going to continue to get, to build up their younger guys and all this other stuff. New York, you're at a bit of a crossroad because you did make the playoffs. You got out of the first round, but Julius Randle is not your long-term solution. So it's going to be another offseason of Knicks fans hoping for the best and probably going to end up getting disappointed. Brooklyn, they got to figure it out. Miami's got to get somebody to go with with Adebayo and Butler. Atlanta, I don't know what they're doing. Toronto might have to blow it up. Chicago needs to blow it up. And then the rest of the conference, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, who the fuck knows with the rest of that East?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this NBA free agents Yeah, this NBA free agency is going to be one to watch out for.
It could change the game in the NBA with the trades made and the draft picks made. Like maybe the Spurs could sneak in the West in a 10 spot.
I'm not even after
You
1
never
year.
know.
I don't think so. Not yet. Because
not yet. You don't think? I was just hypotheticalizing. I'm sorry.
I know, because you got to remember when they got Tim Duncan, that was because David Robinson was out injured that year that they got Duncan. So with the Spurs, you have now once you get Wemby, have to build around Wemby, and
I trust that organization.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
Popovich, they're going to keep Popovich around for as long as possible with that. But yeah, no, this is gonna be, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it all depends on when some of these trades happen, because if some of these guys get flipped, the draft's coming up soon, but like by the time we get to the draft, and I'm not saying that we should expect things to happen then, because we always do, and then nothing happens or barely anything happens.
Right.
But I do think that I do think that moves will need to be made. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, this might even be a hot take, but honestly, if you're the Warriors, get Draymond's ass out of there, because he's been I get what he brings, but like the dude's freaking toxic. Jordan Poole, you might have buyer's remorse, and Clay,
maybe blow up the ship.
I'm sorry, but Clay, after all of his injuries, I know he has his moments still, but you can't rely on him no more. And Curry's in his 30s, so
yeah,
that's the other reason why I have an issue with the Warriors possibly moving on from some of their younger guys. It's because of that, because of guys getting older. You can't rely on Clay. Draymond's fucking toxic, and Poole's not the long-term solution.
Yeah,
let's move on to hockey.
Yeah, let's move on.
37 minutes on basketball.
Yeah, we spent like over a half hour on basketball.
No. This was actually good. This was actually a good conversation because
yeah,
we actually did a better NBA today than NBA today, covering all the teams.
Actually, well, Alan did anyways. So
Alan did.
But let's go ahead and move on. Yeah, Alan did. So let's move on to some hockey. Of course, the 2023 Stanley Cup Finals came to an end last night with the Vegas Golden Knights taking the crown 9-3 in Game 5. They win 4-1. Right now, this is another case of you had this superstar team, and then you had this underdog that just simply ran out of gas. Alan, do you think this is one of those times? Alan,
what?
Do you think that this is another case of superstar team meeting an underdog that simply just ran out of gas?
Oh, absolutely. Florida fucking ran out of gas. Game 1 was the omen. It was either game 1 or game 2. They chased Bobrovsky out, and at that point, it's just like,
yeah, that was game 2.
Shit.
Yeah, game 2 was the game changer of this series, because chasing Bobrovsky out was really the game changer, because it got into Florida's head and stayed in Florida's head.
Here's the other issue. Dangle brought this up in the Game 5 Cup Check video, that when Florida overcame Boston, like, we didn't know Ekblad was hurt after that series, obviously, but they were relatively healthy. The playoffs have taken a fucking toll on them, on the Panthers, and you look at the way that they play, and and how they basically freaking
throw themselves
to other opponents.
Yep.
I mean, it was going to run out for them at some point. And Vegas is a fucking machine.
Yes, they are.
Like your name trees pointed out how in the past Vegas has put a target on their backs. This year they didn't. I also think part of this is karma for how Florida treated the Vegas expansion draft. Like, it is funny as hell that Jonathan Marchessault won the Conn Smythe. Like, and you could say, "Oh, Mark Stowe was wrong. Oh, Jack Eichel's wrong." No. I have no problem with Marchessault being the Conn Smythe winner because it's one more fuck you to Florida for what they did to him and what they did to Riley Smith, and having both of them sent off to Vegas, like one via trade and one via the expansion draft, because of all of Florida, because Florida management couldn't get their heads out of their asses and figure out what the fuck they were doing with the front office, with analytics, with Dale Talon, and all this other stuff. Like, props to Florida for getting here. They took a massive risk in the offseason, and it arguably paid off to get them this far, to get them to their second Stanley Cup final in team history. But the thing is, at the same time,
you didn't win it.
Exactly. And again, I think it's funny as fuck that Marchessault was the Conn Smythe winner. And you can make the argument he absolutely deserved it.
You look at the pieces that Florida lost in the offseason, too. You lost some pretty good pieces in the previous offseason. You lost Giroux. You lost a few other pieces on last year's Florida team.
Well,
no one expected Florida to be here
at
the Stanley Cup Florida.
And that's part of it, is Florida had to take a massive risk in the offseason.
And not resigning Giroux.
Well,
that was one of the risks.
Well, yeah, but last year, well, not trading for Giroux in a way, but the thing was, last year, they were the President's Trophy winner in the East. They got out of the first round for the first time in a long time. I want to say since they had been to the finals back in the 90s, maybe. Fact check me if I'm wrong. And then they got their asses kicked by the Lightning. They had to make changes. Even though they were the President's Trophy winner, they had to make changes.
They had to make those evaluations.
Yes, they did.
I'm already seeing people say it. Like, the NHL is a copycat league. And I think with Vegas, with all the stuff that they've done, all the changes they've done, even though it pissed players off, all the changes that they made, all the big risks that they've taken, and now you look at Florida, who took a massive risk with offloading guys to Calgary to get Tkachuk, and look how that turned out. Calgary fails to make the playoffs. Florida barely makes the playoffs because Pittsburgh choked, and then they go to the freaking final, knocking out the best team in a long time in Boston. They beat Toronto. They swept Carolina. If the NHL is a copycat league, and teams are going to look at this and be like, okay, then we need to do the same thing. Like, we have to actually take a fucking risk and hope to God it pays off.
Oh, God.
And I'm looking directly at you, Toronto. I'm looking at you, Toronto, because this is where, because if this gives Toronto all the reason to make moves this offseason. Whether it means trading Marner, Nylander, Tavares, even though he has no movement, figuring out what you're going to do with Austin Matthews, figuring out what you're going to do with some of these other guys, you have to make the move. Maybe a few. And because the NHL's a copycat league, Toronto's going to look at what Florida did, and they're going to have to take a risk. They're going to have to take a few of them. And I think there's some other teams that are going to have to take risks as well.
Sorry about that. It's a little noisy.
I can tell.
Yeah, it is.
But they are all, it's awesome. I've met so many people here.
There you go. That's
awesome. Also, I got a little bit of juice. You want to hear some tea?
Yes.
Falcon Stadium tour. Falcons footage is going to be brought. They actually got a stadium tour from the Falcons.
Nice.
There you go. There you go.
And it was a funny story. It's because the people say Jude actually knew Arthur Smith's wife. So they made a call, and the Falcons were like, hey, let's get you on the field. And it was going to be pictures of life, but then they DEFCON 5, you're clear to take videos.
That is nice.
So yeah, expect some Falcon footage.
Oh yeah.
Also,
No,
I think everyone. Also, I did think everyone, but $50 donation and a picture of Tom Grossi. I think that's worth it, not everyone.
Yeah, ATL should be a lit video, bro. I hope. Yeah.
All the videos have been lit so far.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And now the NFL has acknowledged them with a couple of community posts for the Buffalo one, the Baltimore one, and I think the Cincy one. So that's actually really fucking cool of them. But yeah, no, like I was saying before, NHL is a copycat league, and teams are gonna look at this at the way this finals turned out. They're gonna have to take massive risks, and I mean, and Toronto, I'm just hoping Toronto does. They have to. They fucking have to.
Yeah, it's a NHL is a weird league. Like you can't copycat the Lightning model anymore because NHL is cracking down on the whole
on the LTIR thing. Well, that's another thing that people are bringing up is because of Mark Stone and the whole LTIR thing, which I don't really think the NHL has ever, unless some team does something so egregious that that Bettman is forced to step in and do something about the LTIR thing. I don't think anything's really going to change. It's kind of like with the players and why the fines. The $5,000 fine thing will never change because unless the players show that they want to be fined more for this bullshit, it's never going to change because that's within their power. Maybe Bettman forces it. I don't know, but then again, I don't think
it's labor talks at that point. So
it is. But yeah, I mean, the NHL draft is already on the horizon. The buyout market, the buyout thing is coming up real quick. So NHL, they're not stopping. It's just go, 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 go. So buyouts are going to be coming up soon. The draft is probably going to be coming up whenever the hell. There's all the shit that's going on, like with Winnipeg, with Dubois wanting out. Hellebuck might get traded. Like Winnipeg's going to get blown the fuck up. There's some other teams where there's situations that are going on right now. It makes you wonder. But in the end, this is going to be one of the wildest NHL off seasons I think we've seen in a while.
Yeah, possibly. Because if you
I
think
also
about
think the Flyers blowing it up is actually a good thing for Philadelphia here. Jones seems very serious about blowing this team up, and I'm actually very glad that somebody's finally taking the bull by the horns here. And actually, it's not really a culture change because it's still former players and stuff like that. Patrick Sharp being involved and Danny Briere, of course. But I like that Keith Jones is really taking the bull by the horns and saying, we need a rebuild. The Flyers don't need an aggressive retool like we've had for the past 15 fucking years.
Exactly, yeah.
No.
You can make an argument that Edmonton could possibly need to make some changes because I don't know how much longer you keep this whole McDavid Draisaitl thing going. I mean, yes, you have Hyman, you have the Nuge, you have some of these other guys, but it's gone on for so freaking long. And now we just watched Eichel, who, yes, he couldn't win shit in Buffalo, but Buffalo couldn't do shit anyway. And then finally him in Vegas pays off with a title win. Like Edmonton might have to do something. I'm seeing somebody underneath Tree's post from earlier today saying Colorado maybe more of a retool, especially considering the guys were hurt this year. But like still,
yeah.
But yeah,
because let's face it, they did lose Grubauer, and then they lost Andre Burakovsky this year. They also lost Andre Burakovsky to the Kraken as well.
Yep.
Yeah. This NHL offseason is going to be wild.
Both off seasons are going to be wild. So we spent a good amount of time on these. I'm really looking forward to them.
Because we already have because two teams have already been announced to have less than $1 million in cap space, that being Tampa Bay and Montreal. So a lot of players are going to be asking for contracts, and these teams won't be able to do it. It's going to be
an open market.
It's going to be a wild offseason. Yeah, as for Florida, they just simply ran out of gas. They didn't really have them by the throat. They were just lucky to win Game 3 in overtime. But other than that, that's all they could pretty much muster. Vegas was just too talented. They were
And
too powerful.
maybe not getting Johnny Gaudreau for the Philadelphia Flyers was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, kind of.
Well,
It
I
kinda
mean, it's
worked
not
out
his
in the
fault.
end.
He was hurt, and all of Columbus was freaking hurt. But still,
Yeah, I'm just saying. Maybe we wouldn't go into the mentality of we need to blow this thing up. It's been 15 years of this bullshit, and maybe Fletcher wouldn't have been fired. Maybe all that wouldn't have happened if Johnny Gaudreau was here.
yeah.
And now that Johnny Gaudreau wasn't here, shit hit the fan. The ownership finally saw it. They finally heard fans saying, "Sell the goddamn team," and they're saying, "We're taking action."
Yeah. It's crazy to think, looking at cap friendly right now, Vancouver being over the cap, despite the fact of that they're just not a good team. Bro, this is gonna be like holy shit. And then you look at the free agents this coming season, like there's some older guys like Kane, we don't know what's gonna happen with him with his injury. Taves, I honestly think is done. There's some other guys who are gonna be moving around. This is gonna be again, I mean, I'm not. Part of me feels like the free agent class might not be like all that strong, which is why the trade market is going to be so wild this offseason, especially because of especially if teams are going to emulate what Florida's done and what Vegas has done in terms of taking big risks. I think that's going to put more credence to the trade market being far more crazy.
Yeah, and Carter Hart's going to be a big part of that.
But I mean, we'll just see, man.
Carter Hart's going to be a big part of that trade market because people are looking for goalies all the time. 24-year-old goalie that hasn't foreseen his first-round potential in Philadelphia.
Honestly, I'm surprised. How the fuck is Hart? I feel like Carter Hart's been there for like years.
It feels like it does. He's only 24.
It does not feel like he's 24, honestly.
Yeah, I don't. Wait, he's only 24? Goddamn.
Yeah, he's only 24.
I did not know.
Yeah. And then again, Hellebuck out of Winnipeg.
He was born in 1998. Drafted. He joined the Flyers in 2016. That's why he's been in the league long.
Yeah. So, all right. So we might as well stop talking hockey, unfortunately, because this NHL free season is going to go through the roof, and we will definitely have a lot to talk about when that comes.
Let's talk about some baseball.
No, actually, before that, we got another champion to discuss, and that's the UEFA Champions League final. Yep, Manchester City are the champions of Europe for the first time ever. They beat Inter Milan 1-0. And, of course, the goal coming in, I think it's the 68th minute.
Yep.
In the second half. So, of course, Manchester City, they are the champions. They get the treble because they won the FA Cup. They won the Premier League, their 5th title in 6 seasons. Yeah, it's Rodri with the goal for Manchester City in the 68th minute.
It's just impressive the empire that
I don't know about you. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of hearing Dark Kirby saying they have to vacate that championship. Like, seriously? Because think about it. Manchester United spent like way more money than Manchester City did. And I think Man City, they spent like around 700 million euro compared to like 900
I think
million.
more people are pissed off about Man City because they're sort of a smaller club.
Yeah, smaller club. They're actually becoming the new Palpatine
big dogs
for the Premier League.
Yeah, they're becoming the alpha.
Yeah, they're becoming the new alphas. The Alpha never left Manchester. The
just
Alpha never left Manchester. They just switched colors. But still, I think everybody needs to just get over it. Controversy happens a lot. You could ask the NCAA. They like to vacate championships left and right, but
no one's going to vacate them. No one's going to forget those moments.
Yeah, that's exactly. I still think Louisville Cardinals fans, they still remember hoisting that championship in Atlanta.
USC fans.
Yep, USC hoisting that trophy at the end of the game.
Do you think Reggie Bush is ever going to forget him hoisting that Heisman at the end of the day? No.
Here's the thing.
You can say former Heisman winner. You can't say that on his bio, but he can say former Heisman winner.
Here's the thing. You can erase what's on paper or on some sort of material, but there's one thing you can't kill. Ideas. You can't erase memories because a lot of people still remember 2013. A lot of people still remember the Bush push and the national championship. But
unfortunately, I remember the Bush push. I'm a Notre Dame fan.
I'm sure you do. Oh, yeah, you do. Sorry to bring back memories.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Once again, you can't kill ideas.
You can't kill ideas.
Yeah. So, yeah, UEFA Champions League, Man City wins. People still need to get over it because they're saying football is doomed. Dude, football's not doomed. Your team just needs to get better. That's what needs to happen.
Arsenal almost won. Right. They ran out of gas. And people would be pitching if Arsenal won. I'm just saying.
Yep. And let's stick with soccer because a big name in the football world is coming to America, and that's Lionel Messi. He just got signed to a contract in Inter Miami.
Unprecedented contract.
Yeah, we don't know the details of the contract just yet, but we know it's going to be massive because ticket prices have already shot through the roof. Have you seen some of the ticket prices over there at that stadium?
No. What is it now?
Because I think it shot from $35 to like around $500 or up to $1,000. Oh yeah, and there's a good reason why. Lionel Messi is a big draw. He's the biggest name now in professional soccer. And you're going to see away games for Inter Miami ticket prices shoot through the roof as well because they're like, holy crap, Lionel Messi's coming to town. We got to raise these tickets up. We're going to make some bank.
Yeah, we're going to make some bank.
There it is. Yeah, here's the details. Lionel Messi, Inter Miami are still trying to find a way to add 3,000 seats to that stadium, as well as ticket prices being listed online at $20,000. I'm not joking. That's what it says. $20,000, and it could potentially go even higher.
I better get a good goddamn seat for $29,000.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry. I'm sure there's plenty down there in Miami. But Lionel Messi, he's definitely going to be the biggest name now.
For $20,000.
Oh, yeah. Not just in the MLS, but also not just in Miami, not just in MLS, but also the world. It's definitely going to bring the rise of Major League Soccer. A lot of people are going to be saying, oh, whoa. Hey, did you watch Major League Soccer last night? Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I watched the game with Messi. Lionel Messi is going to draw these crowds, and it's going to be – and these tickets are definitely going to shoot up way past 5 figures. I think it might even go 6. Because that's how big Lionel Messi's name is. Alan, do you have anything to say about this?
And then breaking last night, Mbappe's going to Real Madrid, apparently.
Oh, Real Madrid's getting Mbappe? Great.
Yeah, apparently Madrid's preparing a £200 million bid from Paris Saint-Germain to
Aren't they already redoing the stadium over there? Or did they just complete it? Because I heard
don't
they're
know.
doing renovations.
I'm not sure, but they're saying Harry Kane might stay at Real Madrid.
All right.
Harry Kane could stay at Tottenham. That's the latest transfer news. In transfer news, do. I'll take a look at the screen. I don't know how soccer transfers work, but it's like
we don't know either. But they just pop up like flies.
They just pop up.
So now we can talk about baseball. Let's get into
JT Realmuto, best catcher in baseball. First cycle for the Phillies since 2004 in a loss. And they win the next game.
There you go.
They lost 9-8, and JT Realmuto hit for the cycle. But the Phillies have won a lot of games recently. They won 8 of their last 10, I believe.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Guardians are just trying their damn hardest to get out of 500, to get out from under 500 as much as possible.
We're trying to too, believe me.
Yeah, because the Twins currently lead the AL Central at 35-33. That's .515. So they're barely above 500 there.
We're barely below 500. We're 33-34.
Yeah. We are 3 games behind with 2 games at hand. It's that bad.
Man, did the New York Mets collapse.
Well, I've seen people point out, for all of the shit that the Mets and the Padres are getting right now for being mid,
money.
What the fuck happened to the fucking Cardinals? Holy shit. They are the third worst team in the goddamn league.
I know. They just not even
third, like third or fourth worst.
Fourth worst team in the league.
Oakland and Washington are only worse than them.
Fourth worst team in the league. I don't know what happened to the Cardinals because I think that winning culture and stuff would suffice over there, but maybe they haven't been developing players as strongly.
It's not even that. It's just like one would make the argument that the devil magic probably finally ran out.
Yep.
But like, holy shit, bro. But like then again, you're in a shitty ass NL Central. So really, are they really out of it?
No, they're only 9 games back
for now. But that could look a lot like they're only 9.5 games out of a wild card spot and 9 back of the division. Milwaukee's lost 6 in a row. I mean, and that's the other thing too. Is like look at here's the thing. Like the Padres are 32-34, yes, but they're still close to the Giants. They're not entirely that far. It's just weird because I do feel like as the season goes along, Pittsburgh's gonna fall back to mid. Arizona, they're 41-26, so I don't know. But maybe they'll fall back to mid. Miami, who knows? Texas, well, you lost to Grom, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
And then Baltimore, well, really that depends on what the Yankees and the Blue Jays do.
Yeah, the AL East could have 3 or 4 teams in the playoffs, depending on Houston.
Well, Houston just lost Yordan Alvarez for a few weeks, and they lost Lance McCullers Jr. for the rest of the season.
4.
So, I mean, like, if you're the Angels or the Mariners, you guys need to fucking capitalize on this shit now.
Or if you're the Orioles.
Put the Astros behind you quickly.
Yeah, that's crazy what's going on right now because
AL East is the dominant division.
Yeah, because every single team in the AL East has a record above 500 except for Boston. And they're at 33-35. They're only 2 games below 500.
Yes, but in my 2 trips to go see Illogical last week and listening to 98.5 on the way there both times and listening to a bunch on the car and all this other shit, the issue with Boston is there is a lot of fucking turmoil over there. There's a lot of There's questions of, does Cora still want to be here? There's questions about effort. There's questions about, there's a lot of questions regarding management and ownership and the way things are being ran in Boston. Boston has fallen back down to earth, and they're going to keep going. And that's honestly, at this point, it would not surprise me if, it just would not surprise me, not only if they didn't make the playoffs, but if they were sellers at the deadline. And I think Cora could end up being gone before the season's end. That might not even be a hot take. It might just be a take.
And
Legitimately, John Henry and ownership need to fucking sell because they don't give a rat's ass about the Red Sox anymore. They don't. I know they paid Story, they re-upped on Devers, all this other shit, but Story's been hurt, and I feel bad for him because he does not deserve slander right now because he's a good player. We know that. He just needs to be healthy, and he has not been healthy all that much since he signed here. That's not his fault.
Do I know who the leading hitter is for the Philadelphia Phillies right now?
Who is?
Nick Castellanos, baby. Let's go.
Well, it makes sense. There's been a lot of tragedies going on.
RBIs, on base percentage, and hits. The only thing he doesn't lead in is home runs, which is Schwarby. He's 8 off of that one. Schwarby has 16. Castellanos only has 8. But when Castellanos hits home runs, we know what happens.
Something bad happens.
He hit one on Sunday.
Oh boy!
We all know what happened on Sunday. I had to make the joke. I live in the area.
What happened on Sunday?
A collapse of epic proportions.
Oh yeah, I-95.
I-95. Yeah, Castellanos hit a home run on Sunday.
Somebody should take Nick's bat away.
Yeah, somebody should. He's hitting 316 this year. He's actually doing really good. He's actually been one of the more reliable hitters in the Phillies lineup. He hasn't been the problem this year. He was the problem last year. And and it's been more like the top of the Turner hasn't been performing as well as advertised. He's only hitting 249.
No.
And then Andrew Painter is supposed to start again for the Phillies. The top prospect. He's pitching. He's working his way back up. He threw a 20-pitch bullpen session in Clearwater. He's supposed to throw another one on Friday. He's coming back from a Tommy John surgery. He was supposed to be the one that the Phillies were banking on to be like a 5-starter. And that it's unfortunate, but he had Tommy John just last year. A minor UCL injury, but still a UCL injury nonetheless. So that's the update on the Phillies. There's still some turmoil with Topper, but Topper's starting to get his groove again with this team. They're 8-2 in their last 10, including the Dodgers series. This Diamondback series is going a lot better than expected. Having a close game 1 and winning game 2 in a rousing fashion. So let's see how game 3 goes tonight in Arizona. They won 15-3 yesterday, and then let's see how game 3 and game 4 goes. So
the Phillies have some problems that they can deal with. The Guardians, their big problem this year is because the reason why they're so mid is because they don't even pay attention to their minor leagues except for bringing people down. Because they brought down Zach Plesac from the big leagues to Columbus a couple months ago, and they recently brought down James Karinchak
Yeah,
Actually, bring down,
it's a disaster in Cleveland.
Check. Yeah, it's a mess up in Cleveland. And by the way, guess who's here? It's
Health.
We've been spotted.
Health is here. The Canucks are paying. We
Canucks
talked
paying,
about that.
Alan went over that. Yeah, Alan went over that.
We went over their
not too
cap
long ago.
numbers. We went over their cap. What is it? Salarycap.com. Caphit.com.
Yeah, Alan, what was the Alan, what was the site?
What?
With the salary cap site.
Oh, Cap Friendly?
Is it
Cap Friendly?
Cap Friendly?
Which you can use for all the
But
teams.
anyways, the Guardians have major issues. But Bo Naylor, he's on I think it's a 9-game hitting streak in AAA. And they don't even refuse to call him up because obviously Mike Zunino and whoever the heck our catcher is, I think they've been using Will Brennan. Now Brennan's been good, but right now he's not the future. He is not the future at all. And they've been using hold on, Will Brennan is a right fielder, excuse me. But my point still stands. With Mike Zunino, he hasn't been the power hitter like advertised. And then, of course, Cam Gallagher and David Fry, they can only do so much. I say bring up Bo Naylor, get the Naylor brothers up there, and let them wreak havoc on the AL Central. Let's boost it up, make it better than it already is, and let's just get the Guardians back up to a winning team. Get some competition, for God's sakes. And then there's Nick. And then there's Elv on the other hand. Props to the Baldy for calling the Nat shit. Nat Bailey. Would you care to explain, Elv? So, the way things stand right now, the Rays somehow are still the best team in baseball. The Rangers somehow are in second in the AL West, but that could change. And then, of course, the T's leading the AL mid.
Yeah,
and of course, your wild cards are the Baltimore Orioles, Yankees, and then the Astros. But the Angels are only 1 game behind at this point. But the thing is, we're nowhere near the All-Star game yet. That's not for like another month.
Is there even voting for the All-Star yet?
What?
Is there even voting for the All-Star yet? They might have.
Yeah, they just started.
They just started?
Yeah,
okay.
they started.
So I'm voting for Casty to make it.
And the AL is mainly Blue Jays because most of the voters are because Canada as a whole is voting for their entire team.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in the NL, you have the Diamondbacks and Braves tied for first. Right now, I think they're giving the edge to Arizona. And then, of course, the Pirates somehow, some way, in the NL mid. And then you got the Dodgers, you got the Marlins, and the Giants in the wild card. The Brewers are 2 games behind.
Yeah, it's in Seattle this year.
Yeah, the All-Star game is in Seattle. And
a former WrestleMania
is good, bad, and ugly. Yeah, WrestleMania 19. Do you think they're going to be doing WrestleMania at a baseball stadium anymore?
No, they're just going to do it at football stadiums, I think. I always liked the baseball stadium aesthetic, though. I always liked that. I like the Seattle WrestleMania aesthetic of them doing it at a baseball stadium.
Well, especially because you had the sun setting in the background during the show too. So.
Oh yeah, that was so cool. During Kurt and Brock, the sun setting. That was an awesome WrestleMania. That's one of my favorite comfort food WrestleManias. You know,
especially with that one open wall. Especially that one open wall at T-Mobile Park.
Yeah,
where you get to see. Because
it
is a retractable roof, but it's still open. And it's going to be interesting how they do the Winter Classic because you've got that one beam right there. And didn't you say that the sun was setting directly at that open area?
No, I just said it's just so cool how the sun was setting during I think Brock versus Kurt or something like that. One of those matches. But that's one of my favorite comfort food WrestleManias. That the third Austin Rock. But that's more for the wrestling disaster.
Yeah.
Which we can announce now.
Mm.
So on the 25th of June, we are doing a watch party for Forbidden Door on my channel, Danny Kukla Streams. And then
Be
on
sure to
July,
drop it in the chat.
I can drop that in the chat. I'm gonna send Duck the link to my YouTube channel real quick. Wow. And then I think I'm logged into my YouTube channel, so let me do this real quick. Sorry. Sorry, Duck. And then
Don't worry.
And then starting in July 13th, we're doing Thursday streams. The Wrestling Disaster.
Oh, there it
The
is.
Wrestling Disaster is coming, guys. And it just gives more space for us to talk wrestling on the show, on a separate show, because wrestling is so wild right now that it needs a separate show. It needs a separate show right now because WWE and AEW are both wild, and we have other promotions in there as well. And I'm really excited about it. The group chat's excited about it too. Forbidden Door is going to be a great show with Kazuchika Okada versus Bryan Danielson main eventing, and Ospreay versus Omega going up. And then Money in the Bank's coming up too, July 1st. I might do a individual watch party on my stream. So that's all coming up. Just, while we were talking wrestling, I thought perfect time to introduce that idea into the fold.
Mm-hmm. All right.
By the way, it was announced that Texas A&M and Texas are facing each other in 2024 for college football.
Yes. Yes, the rivalry returns.
What rivalry? Texas and
the Texas A&M. They had a huge rivalry.
Oh yeah, Texas A&M. Yes,
that's
gonna be great. That's gonna be fantastic.
Because
especially them as SEC schools now.
Yeah, because Texas A&M and Texas A&M.
Arkansas will not face Alabama in 2024. It will be the first time since 1991. Georgia is expected to play at Alabama, with Georgia apparently set to play Clemson, Bama, and Texas, which is fucking insane.
All right, let's see. And Health says, props, side note, it's coming
Alabama
to TSD
will travel
on July
to
13th.
face Oklahoma.
Yep, it's coming to TSD on July 13th.
USC will face Oklahoma. Or no. Oh, no, by USC is South Carolina, not the Trojans. Sorry. South Carolina will travel to play Oklahoma. Auburn is hosting Oklahoma. Holy fucking shit. 2024 is going to be
the SEC and the Big Ten are going to be the big draws because you do have the other USC you were talking about, University of Southern California, and then UCLA. They're moving over to the Big Ten. And we get to see Ohio State and Michigan on CBS.
Yeah, Notre Dame actually in 2024 plays Texas A&M. That should be a good one, and USC. Those are their only two really good games, unless Stanford becomes good again.
Don't we play you guys again this year?
You guys play us again in 2023. I was talking about 2024. We play Texas A&M week 1 in 2024. That should be fun.
All right. Spoiled cod swimmers. All right, there you go.
And shout out to my cousin Sean Blyler, who's probably going in my chat right now saying, "Who are we?" As I refer to Notre Dame as we, and I'm not on the team.
Yeah, so 2024 I think is going to be a huge time for sports. Because, of course, you got college football asking for more and more money. And keep in mind, you got the Olympics in the summer. They're going to be in Paris.
Paris?
in Paris, and then in 2028, I think it's going to be even bigger because they're in LA.
LA, the city.
Are you
the
trying to
city
make
of
the
dream
symbol?
clips.
Are you trying to make the symbol with your fingers?
Yeah, I was like L. A.
All right, so what did you guys think of the? All right, so we got off topic here. What did you guys think of the reverse boycott for Oakland? Do you think they deserve?
Oakland.
I mean, it seems like it worked out, but also you have the freaking stadium deal announcement in Vegas anyway, so Oakland's fucked. And honestly,
yeah, because didn't they get the? Yeah, because didn't they get one for $380 million? Or was it more than that?
Something like that.
I think it was happening as the reverse boycott was happening too.
Yeah.
Which
the only way anything changes now is if the money gets held up or if something else gets held up in the proceedings. But it seems like the A's are going to Vegas, and it almost seems like a done deal at this rate.
Yeah, they're trying to. Yeah, we all know the reason why. They want money. They're trying to take advantage of the Vegas Golden Knights, who just recently won the Stanley Cup. That's the same reason why the Raiders are there, because they see a major sports boom in Vegas.
They want to go for all the freaking, all the fucking, gambling and strip club money. What else do you fucking expect?
Yep, and the sad part is the teams aren't good, so you're going to get opposing teams' fans. Because when the Raiders made the playoffs, all you saw was black and gold. All you saw was black and silver. Now you're just seeing red, purple, green, whichever team is playing there.
I was just asking.
Yeah, I know, I saw it. So see, the thing with the Raiders is just like they're in so much turmoil right now. Like Vegas is only going to care about the Golden Knights now because the Golden Knights are good.
Mm-hmm.
The A's, like when the A's get there, ownership is going to pay out their ass to get good players because getting rid of them was how they wanted to was part of the plan to get out of it was part of the plan to get out of Oakland. But it's just like, and I understand that the city of Oakland has a shitload of issues that they need to figure out, but for fuck's sake, like the team doesn't, or the team and the fans don't deserve this.
No, they don't. They don't deserve that at all. And the sad part is it's not going to be ending anytime soon. They're just going to. I don't think the experiment in Las Vegas is going to work for the A's, anyways. Because
that's why I'm wondering. Like, well, I think with the deal, it's not. I don't think it's official yet. I think there are still some political things that it's got to go through, but like the approval is a big step, forward, and it's really just gonna boil down to how much further, and it's just gonna boil down to will it pass all of the hurdles that it needs to get through in order for this to work. Like, truthfully, Manfred should have stepped in months ago and told ownership to go fuck themselves, but he won't because he's a spineless fuck. And he's only there because of the owners. So he'll turn a blind eye to the A's and not do anything. And it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, the A's really do deserve better. Oakland deserves better. They need to sell the team very soon instead of just moving to Vegas because it's not working out for the Raiders.
Like, that's the thing. I can part of me understands why they want to move because and it's not just the fan base, it's the issue that Oakland does not have the infrastructure to support teams. Like this was the issue that was brought up with the Raiders when they moved to Vegas. Because Oakland as a city has a shitload of problems, but it's the way that ownership is going about it. It's wrong. Like, yes, you need a new stadium. Yeah. We know this. The Coliseum needed to fuck off years ago, but it's the way that it's that people are going about it is not right. And, yeah.
It is what it is at this point. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Coliseum hasn't been imploded yet.
It hasn't been imploded yet because the fact of the A's still play there. And it's going to cost a shitload of money to freaking implode the place in the first place.
So, it costs a lot of money to implode something. I remember when the Vet got imploded. Cost a shit ton of money.
Yeah, for some reason it costs more to destroy than it does to build. For some reason.
Insurance.
Yeah, it doesn't make any much sense. But anyways, so let's talk about some hires that I put in the potential topics channel.
Okay, let me see this.
Let's talk about Peter Laviolette. He's going to be the head. He's going to be the head coach of the. He's going to be the head coach of the.
What are the Rangers doing?
Of the Rangers.
Mediocrity. That's what the Rangers are doing. Mediocrity, because that's what Peter Laviolette brings you. Mediocrity.
Yes. Post a picture of 5 points. All he feels is pain.
Pain.
And bald.
Pain. Bald. My eyes. That's all they're doing. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But let's go ahead and try to find a nominee for Shameful Display of the Week.
Yeah, I can't do mine because that is obviously blackball material.
Well, you can find a different one.
Oh, I don't know of any other ones. Let me try to find one.
Yeah, I can already think of mine. And it was shown in the intro. Alan, you there?
I'm here. I just had to go to the bathroom.
All right.
Anyway, what?
We're
doing Shameful Displays. And we're not even going to bother doing the wheel. Alan, I think you get to go first.
I mean, I guess the one I have to go with is whoever the fuck decided to shoot up somewhere in Denver after the Nuggets won the title.
Okay. Nope. That's declined.
I mean, that's the only one I've got. Like, can we like it's a game, people? Can we not, please?
Yeah, I agree. So not really a shameful display, but a message from Alan. Why must people find a way to ruin everything? Just let people have fun for once, for God's sakes. All right. So I might as well do my shameful display because Danny's still looking for his. And it's going to go to Suryat, which is that guy throwing the first pitch that I showed in the intro. So all you had to do.
I've got one, by the way.
So he did.
Yeah.
So he was recently called up to throw the ceremonial first pitch, and he's been practicing. But however, let's just say it didn't go to plan. He tumbled. Not even 50 Cent. 50 Cent didn't tumble. Carly Rae Jepsen didn't even tumble. This guy just tackled himself. It's baseball, not football. But
man's got speared by an invisible insert wrestler who does the spear.
Yeah.
Flair, Edge, Roman,
people are saying that this is fake.
Right.
People are saying that this is fake. While Suryat says to all those people, "Thank you," because he wished it was fake. All right, Danny, you have yours?
Yes, I do. To the state of Florida, going a combined 2-8, 2-6 in the finals. Wonderful, Florida. What a 2-8. Wonderful performance, everybody. Wonderful performance, Florida. South Florida. You get the award of participation trophy. Wonderful.
Yep.
To be fair, both of them were 8
seeds. Shenanigans. It's been a bad week for Florida, ain't it?
Yeah.
Can
To be fair, both Florida teams were number 8 seeds, but still, they managed to exceed
you made it to the
expectations.
finals. It's
You
fair.
would think they put up much more of an effort, but they simply just ran out of gas. It happens.
I was like trying to come up with one on the spot quick, and I was like, Florida, you earned it. You really earned it this week.
Yeah. All right, so that's gonna do it from us here on the Sports Disaster.
Nice tidy hour and 30.
Just an hour 30. Not too short, not too short, not too sweet. So that's gonna do it from us. My name is Red Rubber Duckwind. Over there is Cooch, and over there is Alan. But that's going to do it from us at Sports Disaster. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram, and we're also on Playback. That way you get to watch some games along with us. We might do some MLB parties. Who knows?
What?
Or even
maybe you can watch my Phillies embarrass ourselves.
Yay! And
or the Guardians.
And the Guardians. Yay! And also
remember, do something nice for your dad on Sunday. It's Father's Day.
Do something nice for your dad.
Yep. Yeah, be nice for your dad. It's Father's Day.
Yes,
And some of us have June 19th off because that's Juneteenth. Because Akron doesn't have any classes. I'm sure some of you guys don't have to work.
I don't have to work on Juneteenth, so.
As far as I know, I probably will. I'm pretty sure I'm working. So, Walmart.
All right.
It's a company holiday for me.
Well, yeah, of course it's Walmart. Of course it's Walmart.
Well, the bank inside of Walmart is closed because it's Service Credit Union. But as far as I know, Walmart's over. Walmart only gives us Thanksgiving and Christmas off, all right? And Thanksgiving was only because of the pandemic.
Yep.
They've kept it
So
that way.
that's going to do it from us here on the Sports Disaster. Enjoy your holiday weekend. But my name's Rubber Duckwind. Till we meet again, guys, we will see you guys in the next episode. See you Wednesday.
Bye.